Hey there, it's Dan, reminding you that the Flophouse simply could not happen without the support of listeners like you. We provide the nonsense for your ears while you're commuting or doing laundry or performing life-saving brain surgery, and you provide the funding that keeps us pumping out the show week after week. It's a symbiotic relationship, so won't you be the Venoms to our Eddie Brock and go to MaximumFun.org/join and become a sustaining member? As a small thank you at the $5 a month level, you'll get access to Max Fun's back catalog of bonus content, including years of Flophouse material. Here's a free taste of just one of this year's bonus episodes.
Dan, what do we do on this podcast about bad movies?
This is a podcast where we talk about a bad movie. This one was 1997 Spawn, and boy, is it 1997 distilled and bottled up and given back to me years later in a form that I can say, I didn't like this at the time, but now I'm kind of nostalgic for it.
Nostalgia truly is the sweetest balm that takes the crap of yesteryear and turns it into the delicacy of today. Mm-hmm. Only for the people who knew it was crap originally, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's as if Red Bull aged like wine.
How do you know it doesn't?
We got to try. All right.
Find me some 100-year-old Red Bull. I said that like I was the host of Family Feud. Show me 100-year-old Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Sorry, 0 people said that.
Most of them knew it's not a thing that exists.
Yeah, most of them. It's exciting that we're in Los Angeles because we're about to tell you a story about the war between heaven and hell, as represented through some of the worst CGI ever put forth in a movie. Shall we talk about this movie Spawn?
Let's talk about
Before
Spawn.
we talk about the movie Spawn, I want to talk to you about so who here is familiar with the comic book Spawn? All right.
Okay, not bad.
Spawn, created by Todd McFarlane, one of the founders of Image Comics. The story of a guy who goes to hell and comes back with a cape so big it blots out the sun.
I mean, I kind of like, I feel like modern superhero design is so keyed around not having capes that he's like, what if he was more cape than
Give me
character?
triple capes.
I feel like he kind of helped kill capes because he used up all the material. And when they designed more heroes, they're like, I wish I could put a cape on him, but I can't. So I guess...
Spawn wasn't here yesterday. Clean me out.
Excuse me, do you have any red cape material? Sorry, Spawn was
do
here.
I have a tale to tell you? This guy with some living chains bought it all up.
I kept saying, is that enough cape? And he kept saying, more cape.
Yeah, I was standing next to his table and like, say when, and he just didn't.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. Okay, the movie starts as every good movie does with a voiceover over CGI flames as we are told the story of how the Lord of Hell, Malebolgia, a character who has a design that didn't look great in the comics and looks even worse in a film, all the demons in this are super weirdly shaped. There's really only 2 of them. Malebolgia has a huge pot belly and a big head of red hair, and a long jaw that goes out way farther in the bottom than the top.
Yeah, I kind of liked the way it looked in the comic. As silly as it was, like it works in a way there that it doesn't work here.
Yeah.
But it did feel like Todd McFarlane was like, what's going to be really scary is if all of the proportions are really weird and like they don't like. What if his jaw didn't match the top of his jaw? Like,
Yeah,
just make it hard to bite things.
Yeah, he
I
looks
guess.
like a hyena man. I guess here's some fun facts from special effects mastermind Steve Kostanski. He says first, the 3D model they used was originally for American Werewolf in Paris.
Huh.
Oh.
And, it's pretty good news you can use. And also that they originally made like a rod puppet that they just ended up scrapping and not using. But I have a picture on my phone of that, so I can show it to you after the show.
Cool. Can't wait to see
Show
it.
it individually to everyone here after the
come
show.
Come up to Dan, and I'll send it to him, and then he'll show you.
If you know the password, I guess. Yeah. The password
Yeah,
is
let us
Spawn.
airdrop it to all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just turn your security off.
Oh, man.
Anyway,
I'm just going to
making Malebolgia even scarier is that they could not get his mouth to animate properly for talking, I guess. So he just opens his mouth, and the voice of Frank Welker, Dr. Claw, Dr. Claw. From Frank Welker's done a lot of voices, but he's doing the Dr. Claw voice here as the
He got his
leader of hell.
doctorate, right?
He got his doctorate.
He's not just Mr. Claw.
Yeah, he's
he
a medical doctor, actually.
But his doctorate is in English literature. That's the thing, yeah. So here's the thing you have to imagine. You have to imagine that Inspector Gadget was in a battle with the devil all that time.
That's all for that teaser, but I wanted to let you know that we'll be dropping at least 3 more bonus episodes throughout the year, focusing on the flopography of Schlockmeister Graydon Clark. whom you may remember as the director of the mutant cat film Uninvited that we covered in our first episode with Gillian Flynn. First, we're going to tackle Joysticks, a trashy 80s sex comedy set in the most sensual location of all, a video arcade, with an iconic performance from future White Lotus star John Grease as King Vidiot. Then we'll discuss one of the two movies both released in 1990 about the lambada. This one, The Forbidden Dance. This is the one with future Mulholland Drive star Laura Harring as an Amazon princess who comes to America to use the power of sexy dance to save the rainforest. And then we're going to cover Star Games, the only one of the three I haven't seen, but it features a late-life performance from Tony Curtis, and the video box has some kind of sad clown in like a space triangle, like he's trapped in the Phantom Zone, so I'm very excited to see what is up with that clown. On top of that, no guarantees just yet, but I hear rumblings from Stuart that he wants to run another campaign of his popular Flop Tales actual play RPG series, which you can only hear in our bonus episodes. And just to give you a taste of some of the bonuses we put out in previous years, there's our Bratz DVD commentary, our Cats DVD commentary, a Country Bears commentary, a live Battlefield Earth show, a couple of crossovers with the Greatest Generation podcast. We did some bad TV episodes on stuff like Small Wonder, Rubik the Amazing Cube, Studio 60. We did a whole episode that was just Radio Zork. Look, I cannot list them all, but if you want access to this library, and more importantly, want to keep the show you've loved and or tolerated going all these years, head to MaximumFun.org/donate to become a member at the $5 or more level. And to all our listeners, whether you support the show financially or can't quite swing it right now, thank you so much for listening. We quite literally do it because of you. Thanks.